What's up, guys? We're back in Josh's garage working on the Red Z with no time to spare. It is currently Friday, August 4th, which means Drift Roulette at Apple Valley Speedway is tomorrow, August 5th. And we have no time to get this thing ready, but we are pretty close. At least I hope we are. I'm gonna catch you guys up to speed because this has been an ongoing project, so we're gonna rewind a little bit. If you don't recall what happened the last time we were over here, this thing got rod knock on a motor that we found on Facebook Marketplace. So we ended up with a new motor from some JDM importer guy, and we're hoping that this time around it will be a good one. So here's some footage of us pulling the old motor and the new one showing up. Obviously a lot has happened between then and now. We've got this thing pretty much buttoned up, ready to go. Let me show you guys where we're at. All right, Josh, what has happened since the last time we've been here? Last video of this car was the old motor coming out. Fill us in.
Okay, so let's see. Man, put me on the spot. Wow. I disassembled the whole front end by myself, which was cool as hell. Got it all ready to be pulled. Then our buddy Matt helped me pull the motor and trans. Yeah, meanwhile, me and Tony have been busy as hell working on a house, so our time has been tied up. And then Matt helped me get the motor and trans back in and started assembling the front end and getting everything connected. And then yesterday or 2 days ago, got everything plugged in, tied up, and the car now is trying to start, but it's not turning over.
So that brings us to right now. This thing cranks but does not start. This is my first time really getting eyes and hands on it. So we're gonna dive into diagnosing this issue, and fingers crossed it's something simple. He just cranked it over for me. I'll toss that video in now. And it really just sounds like this thing's either missing fuel or spark because it's really not even trying to start. So let me show you where we start when it comes to diagnosing a problem like this. Step one, I want to test for spark. So we've got an ignition coil pulled out. It is still plugged in, and then I'm just going to jam a screwdriver in here and ground it out to like a bolt or something, and then visually look at it and see if it actually is arcing. If it is, I know we have spark. Try one more time. So as you saw from that, there is no spark. Typically you would actually be able to visibly see a little spark kind of arcing from the screwdriver to that bolt I had it grounded out on. There's nothing. So that leads me to believe that we forgot to plug something in, or something is missing somewhere causing us this issue.
Let's see if it actually drives. What is that?
Well, that was an unexpected first start. We had been battling this thing for a few hours off camera, chasing little gremlins here and there, loose wires, loose grounds, all kinds of different stuff, and we finally just walked away. We hooked up the battery charger because the battery had died, walked away for about an hour, came back to a fully charged battery, and we thought, let's just crank it, see what happens, because we were for sure all the wires were tight and the grounds were hooked up, and what do you know, it fired right up. It did smoke a lot. We figured out what the issue was with that. Thankfully, it was nothing too serious. Josh, let's show that.
I think I over-tightened or didn't put the AC belt on right, and there's shreds of rubber everywhere, and it smelled like a fire. but it started.
Yeah, first glance, I was like, oh, that's a lot of smoke and it smells like something's on fire. But like he said, it was just the AC belt was either misaligned or way over tightened, and the AC is not even hooked up. So we just yanked the belt off. We'll forget about that, and we're going to double check that everything's okay, and then we'll crank this thing over and actually listen to it now that hopefully it's not smoking like crazy.
Pull, baby.
Jesus.
Back in the garage. It's like 9 something at night. Give us an update.
Well, it's been like what? Couple, 5 weeks. I just came back, did the exact same thing, made the clutch work again, did the same exact thing. I'm so tired, I don't even know.
How's the carrot?
I don't know how to work on Z's.
Here you go. I remember.
The first time in many months that car has left the garage. It's going on a trailer, and we are getting ready to head out to the track tomorrow morning. Fingers crossed. This is the start of many good track days for this little red Z. Just like that, the little red Z is loaded up on the trailer, ready for Apple Valley Speedway tomorrow. Josh's first ever real track event.
The next morning.
Alright, so as you can tell, we are back in the garage, and that's because I did not do a very good job filming at Drift Roulette, and I wanted to film some stuff with Josh while we were there. Because I didn't do that, we're going to do that in the garage now. We're going to do a little interview style, because I want to check up with him and see how his first track day went. Alright, Josh, tell us about your first track day ever. How was it?
It was good. It was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I had lots of help leading up to it, getting the car ready, getting to the track, and then actually at the event there was people helping me throughout the day, so that was very nice. But overall, really fun.
Awesome, cool. As you guys saw, we literally got the car running the night before. I think it was like 5 or 6 p.m. when we actually got the car to start. So really down to the wire there, but the car made it to the track, and it actually made it through the entire track day, right? Did it have any kind of issues throughout the day?
Yeah, so initially there was one issue. We were having a plug that was not clipping in completely, and we ended up just zip tying it down. Once it was zip tied and held in place, there was no mechanical issues from there, other than from a driving error that caused a tie rod to bend.
Makes sense. Tie rods are wear items in this sport, so that's really cool. The fact that the car works for through the whole day really is amazing. Just to have a little clip fixed with a zip tie, super cool. That's rare to have a car work that well, especially a completely untested car. What would you say was the hardest part of your first drift day?
I would say the hardest part is feeling like I'm mentally prepared, thinking, oh, am I forgetting anything? So getting up to it, feeling prepared was the most challenging.
So not the actual track day itself, but leading up to it, being prepared for what could happen.
Right. Yeah, being there was pretty easy. There was resources all around, people willing to help. Anytime I had questions, there was someone there. So yeah, just making sure I was prepared was the most challenging part.
Awesome, cool. Well, that's definitely something you learn as you go to more events. You kind of experience more, and you learn what breaks, what doesn't break, what you need to bring, what you don't need to bring. So it definitely helps having friends there too. Like I say, I've said in many videos before, you can make friends pretty much at any drift event. Most of us are pretty nice out there, and I'm glad you got to experience that as well. what would you say you want to improve on the most for your next event? Or like, what's the number one thing you really want to work on?
So I got two things.
Okay. Yeah.
Number one is having my car totally ready beforehand and all my tools weeks in advance.
I preach that all the time. We didn't do it, but that's definitely something to practice, so that's good.
Yeah, that's number one. Preparation, making sure the car is good, going through the bolts, making sure I have all the tools, spare parts, whatever it is I need, being totally prepared. The day of, driving-wise, is just implementing the little pieces of advice and using the lessons that I'm learning along the way, and just giving myself time to do that instead of taking in a ton of information. So in short, implementing just a few things over and over till I get it.
Right. And that's the fastest way to progress, really.
Welcome back.
All right, so what is one thing you wish you knew prior to this event? Or maybe one thing you wish you had done differently, other than having the car prepared. We're aware of that one.
Yeah. Something that I wish I would have done differently. Let's see. I wish I would have given it's kind of the same answer of what I was saying before. I wish I would have given myself less input. I was getting so many different things. So many people were trying to help and give input that it was just becoming input overload. So if I would have just focused on just a smaller amount of things, that's what I would have done. It would have made it easier for me to make the small progressions that I needed and not overthink things as I'm trying to do something that I have absolutely no experience at. That's also, there's some potential risk. Hey, am I going to break my car? Am I going to hit someone else? Things like that, mixed with a bunch of new information on how to drive, was just a little bit overwhelming. So that's partly why I said moving forward I would do that different.
Makes sense. Now that could have been done a little bit differently. I threw him into a pretty, not serious event, but a decent event. It was an all-day thing. There was a lot of other people there. If we were to do this over again, if we did have a little bit more time, I think it would have been more beneficial to do like a private test day on maybe a skid pad. That way it would just be you, me, and one or two other people in a bit more controlled environment. But hey, we threw you in the deep end and you survived, so props to that.
Yeah.
Kind of bouncing off of that, what would you say is one tip, or maybe more than one, that you would give to someone who was like you, who had never done a track day before?
Yeah. So I had asked or talked to quite a few people prior to the track event, and they gave me almost the same advice, which was great, and I think it was really resourceful. Was everyone just reminded me, and this is the same advice I would give to someone coming into it. The purpose of it is to have fun. Just do what you have to do to have fun, and enjoy yourself, relax, know that everyone had a first day. Nobody was good in the very beginning. And also just know that the people there are aware of that and that everyone's there for that reason, to have a good time. So I think remembering that makes it easier to work on your car if you need to, deal with the heat if it's hot, things like that. Just having that vision and context in mind would be my recommendation to anyone that's new to this.
Absolutely. And even if you're not new to this, if you're like me and you've been in the game for a while now, you still need that same reminder, because it's real easy to be hard on yourself when you're out there and you make a mistake or something happens and you're like, oh man, at the end of the day, I'm just out to have fun. And a lot of times you do need that reminder. So I'm glad you brought that up. last question, we're going to kind of end here. Where do you see yourself, if anywhere, with this? Now that you've actually experienced it, you've done some motor swaps, you've really been through the depths of what drifting and a drift car is. Is it something you enjoyed? Do you want to continue in it? And if so, do you want to go further? Or just kind of give me your thoughts there.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm in kind of an exciting spot with this because not like there is still so much more for me to learn.
Of course.
But I feel like I came from a very negative spot of just like things breaking, stuff like that, into now feeling like I got a decent baseline for the car, how it works, and did all this leg work to get that now I'm in a spot where I can enjoy things and understand how some of the upgrades to the car, learning how to drive better, things like that will improve and make the experience more enjoyable. So I see myself getting more driving experience, making sure that I can have the car dialed in just on a basic stock level so that I understand it, how it works, how to make sure that it's reliable and functionable and everything is going good. And then depending on how that goes, will determine if I want to evolve my car or pursue different things driving wise. But I definitely want to get out there more and get some more driving experience.
Cool. Well, that's really good to hear. I'm really excited. I am so happy that the car worked. I'm honestly relieved because, like I said, it's kind of unheard of to have a totally untested car work for an entire day, and not just your typical, short track day. We were there from, what time did you get there? 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we left at almost midnight. So awesome that the car worked that long. Props to you for driving so much. The car did well. You did great. I think you're off to a really good start, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. So thanks for rolling with it. Thanks for dealing with all of the stuff that we went through with so many different motors. And like I said, you've been through the trenches now. You've earned your stripes, and I'm excited to see you out there enjoying it.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone that's been following along. The support's been great.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching. We definitely do appreciate it. Without you, there would be no point in making this kind of stuff. Like we said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Josh appreciates it. The support has been unreal. The support at the event, the support from you guys online. It's been really cool, and it really keeps me excited and motivated to keep this whole thing going. And we've got a lot planned. A lot planned for this year, a lot planned for next year. So be sure you're subscribed. Again, thank you guys for the support. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and drop a comment down below. What do you want to see from me and Josh and his car? Now that it runs, it works. Do you want to see like a tutorial on how to actually master the basics, or at least understand the basics of drifting? Is there one specific topic you want me to cover, like transitioning, or I don't know. There's so many ideas I have in my head, but I'm curious to know what you guys actually want to see. So drop a comment down below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one.